Hello my pretties, the witch is back. Mabon, or the autumnal equinox, or the official first start of fall, however you want to celebrate it, is this week. Because it's often called a witch's Thanksgiving, it's celebrated with food, especially autumnal food. And several years ago, I found a recipe from a blog from Pinterest. I will link it and tell you what that website is right now that I love so much. I put it in my personal grimoire. I typed it up and I put it in here. Let me see if I can find it. No. Mabon apple cake. If you like apple pie or caramel apples or sweet appley flavored things, apple breads, this might be up your alley. If you're a bread pudding person, this also might be up your alley. I will link the original recipe below because I will be making some slight variations on the original and also making much less of it. If you want to make a full sheet pan size of this because you're doing a coven gathering or family event and you want to make a full version of it, follow their recipe. You can make some of the same vegan adjustments that I do, but follow their recipe in the link below. Otherwise, come along with me while I make some vegan Mabon apple cake. So welcome back to Experimental Baking Hour, where I attempt to bake things when it's not exactly my forte. For this quarter serving of Mabon cake, start by dicing 1 cup of apples. Any kind of apple is fine. I used a little variety. To a mixer, add 2/3 cup of sugar and then my egg substitute, which is a 1/4 cup of applesauce, which made sense for an apple cake. Mix to combine. Then add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/4 cup of melted butter. After mixing these ingredients together, start adding in about 3/4 cups of flour. Once combined, fold in the diced apples. Just fold it in. Add to a small greased baking dish. This one is 9 by 5.5. If you don't have something like that on hand, you could probably also make these in cupcake or muffin liners. It's better to be on the thicker side and not have this cake spread too thin. Bake at 325 Fahrenheit and keep a close eye on it. Mine was ready around 35 to 40 minutes. Thinner or muffin variations may take less time. While my cake is baking, I'm also going to try making a vegan Spanakopita, a Greek spinach and feta pastry, and some stuffed mushrooms to complete this little Mabon girl dinner. I diced and sauteed this whole onion and split it in half of which I sauteed again with spinach, and then I mashed it into my vegan feta cheese. Coating strips of phyllo dough in melted vegan butter, adding the spinach and cheese mix, and fold into this triangle pastry shape. Finish these off with a little extra melted butter and it's ready for the oven. The mushrooms are stuffed with chopped mushroom stems, the other half of the sauteed onion, some breadcrumbs, and vegan Parmesan cheese. When my cake was done, I put these in at 400 for 20 to 25 minutes. For the cake glaze, I melt a 1/2 stick of butter, a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and a tablespoon of non-dairy creamer or milk alternative. Cook to a boil, remove it from heat, and add a splash of vanilla. With your cake freshly out of the oven, stab the cake everywhere with a skewer or a knife or something like that if you don't have a skewer on hand, and then pour the hot glaze over the top. This cake will absorb this topping as it cools down. And now my Mabon feast is ready. The substitution of applesauce instead of eggs worked out surprisingly well. Maybe I needed to cook it a little bit longer, but it was a little bit softer and more bread pudding-like than it has been in past years. But I mean, honestly, it turned out delightful. For the Spanakopita, I would say that the Trader Joe's vegan cheese, when you're making Spanakopita with like a feta cheese, normally it's kind of more, I don't know how to describe it exactly, like almost cottage cheese or like fluffier. The vegan feta cheese is really good, but it's more of like a gooier melted cheese. So if you're looking for an identical vegan Spanakopita, I might make a like cashew or tofu based cheese to go in it to try that. But maybe another experimental baking hour when I'm feeling more experimental. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Mabon, autumnal equinox, fall, whatever you celebrate, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!